development and for the enlightenment of the people. Today we're figuring out how to harness that to the best of our ability. But we're picking up some signals of unrest in Ashaiman. We don't have all the details. We promise you we are looking into it to get all the details, but we understand there appears to be a military presence in Ashaiman, and it is causing some disturbance and unrest, according to some of the reports we have received so far. We are seeking to verify and confirm everything so that we can properly inform you. So please remain calm, and we will make sure we give you all the information as soon as we have it in full. Yeah, Cecil.
Yes. Let's continue. I'll tell you something about Adrayanki.
Okay.
The English version of Adrayanki. Very soon. But the international betting company, 1xBet, is ready to offer an incredible selection of sports betting, mobile games, and your favorite online casino 7 days a week. 1xBet collects over 1,000 celebrity sports matches for you, so you just have to try your luck. The first deposit of new players will be increased by 3 times. Your winnings can be easily withdrawn using international payment systems, and the list of gifts for players includes popular smartphones, top laptops, gaming accessories, and even cars. Become the master of your own destiny with 1xBet. 1xBet, your reliable bookmaker.
I wonder if you've tried Lunch Avenue yet. You can call them on 0558 502 206 and have your lunch delivered at your doorstep. Enjoy the convenience of a lunch order and delivery right to your doorstep from Lunch Avenue. With their quick and efficient service, you can have hot, delicious, and healthy meals from Lunch Avenue in no time, as long as you're in Accra or Tema. Whether you're ordering for yourself or for a group, their lunch delivery is sure to make your lunch ordering easier. So don't wait. Order now by calling 0558 502 206. Lunch Avenue. Tasty, yummy, healthy.
Well, Safe Life Experience Consort is bringing you an unforgettable experience this Easter. Get to experience a pilgrimage this Easter to Israel, Rome, and Dubai. Visit places like Nazareth, Bethlehem, the Dead Sea, Wailing Wall in Israel, and 4 basilicas, that's the city of Assisi, and celebrate Easter with the Pope. Well, Safe Life Experience Consort has various packages available to choose from. It could be visiting Israel or Rome, Israel and Rome, Dubai and Israel, and Rome and Dubai packages. Look, date 29th March to the 16th of April 2023. Cost starts from only $2,900. You can also join our Dubai trip this Easter for only $700. Give yourself, parents, or loved one this wonderful experience. Contact Safe Life Experience Consult on 05504 444 or WhatsApp 0277556033. Locate our office at Asylum Down opposite Delta Security. Terms and conditions apply.
Now, as the spring travel season gets closer, we're all starting to think about our next holiday, aren't we? And you can make that journey just as incredible as the destination when you treat yourself to Emirates First Class. Hey, some things you must do at least once before you die.
I tell you.
Hey, it's like a hotel in the sky. Just imagine stepping from your first class private suite into the shower spa in the air. You know, these days, showering in the air, very, very important. Pampering yourself with exclusive spa products before a pre-dinner cocktail in the onboard bar. You can do it all on the Emirates A380. The menu is incredible too. You can choose anything you like, whenever you like, from gourmet snacks to a full multi-course fine dining experience with impressive wines to match. Charlie, we have to try this thing. Let's do susu. Then enjoy a good sleep in your fully flat bed seat in the privacy of your suite. It's everything you want from your holiday, even before you arrive. So treat yourself to first class and fly better with Emirates.
I like that one. I mean, I'd love to fly first class.
One day.
One day, it shall be well. Okojo, before we continue, I was telling you about the English version of Adrayanki.
There is an English version.
Oh, you see, years ago I was with CK Man himself. We were having a conversation. And he told me this story. Maybe it's true, I don't know. But he told me that he actually went to the United States of America. He was in a church and he was asked to come and sing one, song from Ghana, a gospel one.
Right.
So I say, oh, Namara CK man, them time no so na meaning who Jesus Christ. And Timoko and I say, oh, you know when Jesus was being tempted by the devil, by Satan, no? He has a song like that. So whenever he says Adra Yankee, they say hey. And that Adra Yankee is the local name for Jesus Christ. Oh, Mark is here. I'm sure he's told you that story before. Yes. I mean, so CK Man said when he finished, the whole church were inspired by his music.
Imagine that.
Adra Yankee.
Going you to Yami.
Nyame ka ho bia.
Anyway. Okay. So Ajay Yankee is a gospel song.
It's a gospel song.
All right. Listen, today we're unveiling the mysteries of Ghanaian music. Okay. There's so much to talk about. Our guest in the studio is the Deputy Minister of Tourism, Mr. Mark Okraku-Mantey. Actually, Deputy Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. Let's give him that full title there. Dr. Eyram Fiagbedzi is a lecturer in the Department of Music at the School of Performing Arts, University of Ghana, Legon. He joins us on the phone. Now, the conversation started before we took a break, and this issue of what is Ghanaian music came up. Now, indeed, one of the purposes of our music and the fact that it can be identified as our music is that it can be a draw, a source of attraction for those we want to bring into our country to visit, to spend money in our economy. So I wonder, Ghanaian music as it has evolved today and all the influences in there, is there something still Ghanaian in the middle of it? I mean, if you play any popular hit today, it's likely to sound just as Nigerian as it sounds Ghanaian, or just as American in some cases as it sounds Ghanaian. Is there still that Ghana thing in our music that can be easily identified by people around the world?
Is it a question for me?
Yes, so.
Okay. Yes. I think so. We have our chordal progression, which is often Ghanaian because our music actually came from various traditional backgrounds, like the Evers who do Agbaja, the Fantis who do Apatampa, the Ashantis, the root of Kete. Kete or Adwa. I got to know recently that Kete actually came from Kete Krachi. It was actually a dance from Kete Krachi, yeah. And so, when you go to the north, they have their own rhythms. You go to the west, and so almost all these rhythms are the foundation of what we finally called high life. So if you pick an Ampedu, an Amanzeba, Rexuma, you sometimes even hear the traditional, what we call ebibinyum. Ebibinyum, the Methodist people use ebibinyum. Awuyo, Jide Koko, they drive on the ebibinyum rhythm. I don't know if you know ebibinyum.
Well, if you listen to listen to Christ's Little Band, you know.
That's ebibinyum. Correct.
Yes.
That is from, it sounds like the Methodist people, the Awuyo, Jide Koko, Awuyo. Correct. And so high life, the reason why high life is very difficult to define is because we have too many rhythms as a country. Which is good, but it can become counterproductive if we do not manage it well. And that is why I'm sure you are struggling to find out what our rhythm is. The challenge too now is that it's not a problem with just Ghana. America is going through it, Asia is going through it, because now you find Kiddy on an Indian song.
Yeah.
Because the internet is making us borrow rhythms. You hear something from Asia and you like it, and you want to put it in your music in Africa. They also hear things from us and they get carried away and they want to use it. So now you can only have about 50% of what you have, and the other 50 is always almost at the time borrowed.
Honorable, so let me just come in at this point. You've talked about the difficulty in defining high life, but we have known it as a music. In fact, whenever you travel around the world and you say you're from Ghana, the first music anybody would ask is high life. We say that's the Ghanaian genre of music, more or less. That's the one we've sold to the world. I'm sure today our listeners would want to know, what is that high life genre that we talk about? What is it?
It started from our traditional rhythm. The white man opened our eye at the time, that's what they said, to some contemporary sounds. So KJC adds keyboard to his music, because originally our music didn't have keyboard. We were like the Hispanics or the South Americans. You know, the South Americans with their mariachi can play 8 guitars. All guitars, and somebody's singing, or people are singing and they're happy. We also used to play the sticks, or cleaves, or cowbell. Go. And then we have our gourmet. The guys are doing their gourmet, and we enjoyed it. Then over time, because we were playing to the whites in the ballroom, they introduced us to some of their instruments. You know, white people, or the West is driven by strings, orchestra. So we liked what they did, so we added the keyboard to what we were also doing. Then they said, hey, these people want to live a higher life now. Now, they play music for big people. And so we adopted the name High Life. But we are people who would often want to take what we find outside and what we have. So quickly, anytime the white man introduces an instrument to his music, we also pick it up and add to our rhythm. Then we got carried away in the 70s, where go-go rhythms came. Go-go rhythm is the typical song like Bustin' Loose. Bustin' Loose is go-go. So people like CK Man at the time, when we heard the songs like Bustin' Loose, go and listen to a song like Asafo Beson.
Okay, Asafo Beson, yeah.
It is Bustin' Loose. So even in the 70s, our so-called seniors, who we thought they were giving us what we thought were indigenous at the time, were hip-hop. But they were trying to sound go-go at the time. So when I also grew up, I said, oh, man, if I'm able to trace our roots, and even in the 70s, we were sampling. And we got hits like Asafo Beson. A song like Asasiasa from Alex Knadu.
Yeah.
It starts with dancehall. Kum, kum, che, kum, kum, che, kum, kum. That's that dancehall. So at the time, even our seniors, who we looked up to, got their music influenced by South America, it being reggae, salsa. You just played Akwaboah, which is almost salsa, or pachanga. So almost everybody followed suit. You ask a young man like Tic Tac, his role model is Busta Rhymes. Yo, who, ha. So it is difficult. That's why I said that the whole world is going through that kind of transition. Listen to Timbaland. Most of his rhythms, you hear a lot of shamisen instrument from Japan in Timbaland's music, hip hop, but you hear Japanese sounds in them.
Okay, let me bring Dr. Fiagbedzi in to tell us what he also believes high life is, just briefly, before we get into the next aspect of the conversation. So, Dr. Fiagbedzi, tell us. I mean, Honorable Okraku-Mantey has explained to us, how we've sampled, and I'm sure in all your research you've come across high life. You've investigated this. What is high life?
Well, thank you. I think I agree with all that Honorable has said about high life. It basically came out of three strands of music. I mean, the guitar band, the orchestra, and the military brass band. Those days, like he rightly said, the Europeans came with these instruments, and while they were performing, the locals enjoyed the music. But then, for example, in the case of the brass, because they didn't have money to buy those very expensive instruments. They created their own local version of that music, which became Adaha, for example. So for all these three strands, they all came together to become what is now known as high life. But the key thing about that is that it has a lot of Western influence merged with our traditional music resource. Basically, the Palogo beat. That is the basic thing that we get. So this is just a short addition that I want to make to what Honorable has said.
So the more we learn from you, the more clear it becomes that high life itself is just a combination of influences. The only thing in it that may have originated from us as a people is that bass-line beat at the center of it. That K. Is that right?
Yes, that is right, but not that alone. There are other things. For example, the harmony. There are some that make use of our local or traditional harmonies. I don't have any song specifically, but that is one. Of course, the default thing is also the language. Yeah. When we use the Akan language, the Ewe language, the Ghana language, these are things that are Ghanaian. Right. Well, there are introductions of our local instruments as well. So you may have a band which employs a local instrument, maybe a Palogo instrument. Some have a Centibane flute and other things. So these are other Ghanaian elements that are incorporated into high life music. Yeah, so it is not only the beat, but these other things follow. Yeah.
All right. I want us to talk about how we've used music as a country. Whatever it is, whether it came from influences or what, we have created something that is unique to us. How have we used music? I know there are examples from the era of independence, songs that were used to inspire patriotism, songs that were used for communication. Even more recently, when we had to do a referendum, we'd make a song about it just to make the thing catchy. If you wanted to do a road safety campaign, you'd put it in music. What are the ways in which, as a nation, we have been able to harness music, for our development? I'll start with you, Mr. Okraku-Mantey.
Okay, thank you, Kojo. I think that one of the challenges that I can talk about is how we never saw music as a tool to make money from the beginning. Because of how our music started, palm wine music, you go and sit under the tree with the accounts called it Kwankwenuase. The woman who sells the palm wine, you sing, it's free. It is offered for free.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyone in the hood can just come and join, also enjoy the music and go free. So because of how we started our music, we've always had that perception that it is a product that must be served free. And so it starts with the guitars. Sometimes the women who sell the palm wine join themselves. They sing. When we're growing up, I used to see SQ Opon do that on TV with Osofo-Dazi. Yes. And so just like football, how we used to look down football, music had its fair share. And so, this man is so blessed because he's doing music. So lots of people started music as hobby, not business. We didn't have education to back some of these things. And so people just do music as music without the business side. So you realize that most of the people in the 60s, 70s, they say, they died poor. They did so well, but they died poor. He was just telling me about how CK wanted to buy a car before he passed on.
Yeah.
Yes, but ideally, the stature of people like CK shouldn't even think of car in even in their 40s. He should have been a multi-millionaire by 30-something years if we had done music as business. Thank God, from the 90s, from my generation, we did business with music. Again, we also didn't look at a side of how powerful we could use music. I produced a song called Odo Kakra Sika Kakra. And I see even top... Correct.
Mr. Solomon.
Yes. Today, I hear politicians, I even just last week or last 2 weeks, Adenimo used that line as an example. Which means that maybe he's not even aware that subconsciously it was some music somebody did that brought that jargon on Kakra Sika Kakra. Boy Sabre was Guru line. And my own Samia Oku took it, became a tagline for politics for years. Till now we call Samia Oku Boy Sabre. It all came through music. That's how powerful music could be. It could make or unmake people, your children, mold society. And so for me, I'm very particular about how we use words in music, especially when sometimes you don't even understand the language, but you can sing that song. Your children who cannot even decode or decipher what you're saying can't sing the song verbatim, beginning to the end, and will not even know the meaning, but could be destroying other people. So language, content in music is a big deal to me. And then commerce, because I think that we should see music as a way of making money, growing the economy, contributing to the economy, to the GDP, instead of just seeing music as we started as it's fun. So we must consume it freely.
And talking about music contributing to the GDP, earlier I talked about even music being used to promote our identity. Now, one of the things Obasanjo did when he became president of Nigeria was to change the narrative about the country using music and movie. About 16 years ago, I met a Nigerian at Cardiff University studying the power of the arts in promoting growth in an economy and also in selling the culture of a people. At the time, I didn't understand until I came into Ghana and realized that today we have even picked Nigerian jargons as part of our language. The question is, how are we using our music to tell our Ghanaian story? So listen to CK Man. He was giving a folk tale, for instance, a Dalima tale, Akwaboah. In that song, you hear Ekuma, you'd understand. These are some of the stories that we told in the past. He's put it in a song. We can appreciate it. You listen to even Flavor sometimes. He's telling you a story in his song. Particularly the ones that he sings in his native language. He just mixes it with a bit of English. So that if you were listening, you probably would appreciate that, this is what he's trying to tell you.
Sometimes they only give you a recap with the English.
With the English, exactly. The question is, here in Ghana, how are we using our music to tell the Ghanaian story?
I think that we have different, although our mother music is high life, within the high life itself, like is it professor or lecturer?
Dr. Fiagbedzi.
Doctor, yes, like doctor said, we had the Westerners, which I'm sure both of you belong to that school, doing dance music. We had the Eastern people and the Ashantis doing guitar, then the traditional music. So Nanam Pedu, Alex Kunedu, George Darkon, Daddy Lumbers, Kwesiam Pofoje, they all came from guitar music. And then your people, CK, he keeps mentioning CK because that's where he comes from. CK Man, Papa Yankson, Bester Simons, they are big. Papa Yankson, big band.
Yeah.
Yes, big band.
West Side.
Yes, dance band. So if you listen to them very well, even the dance band people don't tell stories like the guitar band. That's what Nampedu was known for, the animal storytelling.
Yes.
Correct. Because that is the orientation. Guitar band, they must tell you a story. If you don't tell a story, the music is no good, it's bad. Dance band, like the name fits, it is for the dance floor. And so even within the same high life music, they are not doing almost the same thing. They all have different objectives. So some of them want to tell story. Some of them do not. They want you to dance. So if you listen to Bessie Simon's kind of music, Belembe, or Osibisa, their motive is to charge the environment. Their interest is not to tell you a story. That is, we are going. It's more of heaven knows where we're going. So they are telling you a story with that one. But Osibisa, they have a lot of songs that you don't even know what they want to talk about.
Like Densu, Koto Densu. I say that.
It is just
into it, yeah.
they charge the environment. Correct. What story are they telling with the Osa? So if you want to listen to music that will direct you in terms of thought, storytelling, you should go to the Eastern and Ashantis and the Bono people. If you want to dance, you come to the Western and the Central people. And the fusion is Osibisa kind of. So for me, you would not expect that Sako there will do music that will always want to tell you a story. He has one that will tell you, sit and listen to me. Some of them too, he wants you to jam, he wants you to dance. So but all of these songs, they have their markets, and it makes sense. But for me, some of them, I agree with you. You don't actually know what the story they want to tell with the song. At the same time, you don't know whether they want to do the music for the dance floor. Because for music producers, which the group I belong to, we don't often, when we are producing, we don't take too much into consideration the lyrics. The reason is that when the song crosses over to Togo, the Togolese doesn't care about the language.
Yeah.
That is why sometimes you hear say in a nightclub. Because the people in Sierra Leone were listening to Eyram say in a nightclub because they thought the groove was a party song. They didn't know it was a gospel song by Ohima Messi. So this is a true story. So when the song crosses over, Kontomre in Togo, I'm sure it's flowers. Yes. We also grow some of the things as flowers in Ghana, but in some other countries they eat them. And so music producers don't take note of lyrics per se. So lyrics are very important in your domestic market. When they cross over, they are not very important.
But have the Nigerians had that philosophy? Because, actually, let me bring in Doc on this one. You notice how Nigerian music travels very far. Even though we all claim to be doing something called Afrobeats these days, the Nigerian brands of music travel far. Regardless of whether people understand what they're saying or not, there is something about how they have packaged their music that makes their message resonate with more people around the world than others from this part of the planet. What do you think is the ingredient in there that seems to work? And is this something Ghanaians can harness?
Well, the thing is, like I said earlier on, Nigerian music is shaped by the language. They have the Yoruba language, the Igbo language, and these languages are tonal languages. So the music they make, they ensure that the tonal inflection of the language reveals itself in the music. That is basically it. So when you hear the music, even without the language, when you hear the instrumentation, you can just point to this, that this is from Nigeria. And this is what we haven't been able to do as Ghanaians or in the Ghanaian music industry. But then just to go back to the question you asked, Honorable, about how we have used music. You know, so in those days, music was a repository of knowledge. The primary purpose of creating those musical forms were to keep certain cultural knowledge, values, and virtues for prosperity. So it was not primarily an entertainment form. It was a storehouse of knowledge. So knowledge about history, knowledge about values, customs, etc. But then, because of generational taste, because of our contact with the, and what I said earlier has to do with the pre-colonial days, long before the whites came. This was how our forebears used music. It was supposed to be a storehouse for information. But with the coming in of the Europeans and they introducing their kind of music to us, which really didn't have that focus of using the music as cultural knowledge, as a storehouse, that shifted the paradigm a bit. So you have people, for example, like Eyram, who had studied music, Western music and all that. But when you look at his Yen-Ara assassination, for example, that message is communicated. That message, that is a whole theory in that music, you know, telling us about how we must be patriotic and responsible citizens as Ghanaians. Nketia also has done a lot. Mpenyi, Moni, Ejuma, I mean, lots of art music. And here, so we have traditional art music and popular music. I think our focus has been on popular music, but the art music component is also a big thing, where the messages that are churned out are supposed to reflect, to encourage, and all that. But these days, due to globalization and generational taste and influences from other cultures, you realize that there are now all sorts of music, all kinds of music. And like Honorable said, not all music are supposed to educate as we have now. So there are songs, there are music that are meant for specific occasions. For example, funerals. You have music that are lamentations, grief. You have music that are meant for clubbing, music that are meant for Christian worship and related activities. For example, there are music for our traditional political system. So if the chief is in a palanquin, for example, or there is a deba, there is a particular song, particular music that are supposed to be made. Songs of insinuation. These are traditional songs, but in popular vein, we call it dish songs. There are songs that do not make any meaning. They are gibberish. And these are meant for entertainment. So my point I'm making is that before, the music had a purpose, had a function, which was to serve as a repository of our cultural knowledge, of our history, values, and all, and to educate. But currently what is happening is that we have more of entertainment music. The focus of the music is more on entertainment, how to get the people happy, how to get the people excited. And also, like Honorable rightly confessed, the focus is to also make money. So if this is what I can do, if this music is what I can create to make the people happy and bring some few dollars or euros into my pocket, why not? I'll go for it. Yes. So these are my thoughts. But with relation to the Nigerian music, I think it is the language. So, for example, if an Ewe or somebody from the north wants to create music, their languages are tonal, and usually their traditional music are pentatonic, 5-tone scale. What prevents them, for example, from drawing on these two rich elements in their popular music composition? And I tell you, when they do that, it will become so unique that people will start running after this kind of music.
Just before we take a break, I mean, I'd love to hear you on this same issue, this thing about the tonality, because I'm starting to realize, I don't know if I've mentioned this to you before, but I don't speak a word of Ga, but I love Ga songs. I'm not sure why.
Just like how you like Nyejilo, Nyekbe.
Well, that's also quite nice. But Ga songs, for some reason, I don't really understand. If I hear Adane Best right now, I go mad. But I don't understand him.
There's Adane Best producer.
Well, maybe it's you. But I don't understand him. But something about the inflection of the Ga language in music really appeals to me. Is that the advantage that the Nigerians have over us? Is that they have some wonderful inflection we don't?
Yes, there's some truth in that. I am also an addict of the Ghana language when it comes to music. My favorite rhythm in Ghana is Palugo. Yes. So, and like Doc mentioned, if you go to the north, they need to go raw, just raw, even without rhythm. You enjoy because even their language, the normal language that they speak, when the moment they put it into rhythm, it sounds like an instrument. That's why Sharifa, anytime you hear Sharifa perform or Riala, that's why somebody mentioned Riala.
Yes, Doc mentioned Riala.
Because their language makes it rhythmic. So if you know, so the Salif Ketes and the Alpha Blondie, the language will play a role in how music will sound good in your ear. The Akan language is the weakest. That is my perspective. Somebody could differ. The Akan language is the weakest when it comes to music. Unfortunately, the Akan people have pushed harder so much that it sounds as if they are the ones who could make the best music. It's not true. The North, Volta, and then the Ghans, if they begin to go strong, they are going to conquer the Akan musicians. And that's why even the Kojentris, you listen to almost all the Akan musicians, they have Ghana songs, Ever songs. They will always want to fuse some of these languages because they can catch fire easily in terms of music. Let me just touch on this quickly before you move on. This Afrobeat thing. Honorable Ejapa Mesa and myself traveled to Dubai. And so I went to an audio shop. And I had Bisakede. So the shop attendant said, I said, oh, you're playing my song. He says, yes. All this was, I was enjoying the music. And he kept saying, oh, I like your song. Guess what? The man was Moroccan, and he thought the music was from Nigeria.
Good.
Yes. And I've experienced a lot of these things where Ghanaian hard work is going to Nigeria. Because they've made so much noise such that there's a perception that every music you hear from Ghana is from Africa, is from Nigeria. And we made a mistake also by accepting that we are also performing under Afrobeat. Guess what? The word Afrobeat itself was coined by Fela years ago without an S. So the moment you hear Afrobeat, the owner of that word is Fela. Then over time, the West said, Africa has too many rhythms. So why don't you call all of them African rhythms? Because we were known for high life, and we were bullying them with our high life. Quickly, they opted for the Afrobeat. Unfortunately, my brothers and sisters went to join them. They don't know that all their hard work is actually going to Nigeria because the perception about Afrobeat is Nigeria. Kamido.
Oh, perfect example.
I heard Kamido's music in Tanzania, Arusha. And the people around thought it was from Nigeria. And that is why Nigeria is getting the buzz they are getting. Everybody is thinking that, oh, almost all the music you hear across Africa now is from Nigeria. Most of them, or some of them, are from Ghana. Unfortunately, they've been tagged Nigeria.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Listen, it's the Super Morning Show. It's 19 past 9 just now. And our guests, the Deputy Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Okraku-Mantey, and a lecturer at the Department of Music at the School of Performing Arts, University of Ghana, Dr. Eyram Fiagbedzi, are educating us on the role that music is playing or has played in our development so far. When we come back, we look to the future. This world is becoming digital. It's all becoming global. What role must a smart nation allow its music to play in moving it forward? Our guests help us with that when we return.
My guy, DSTV brings some cool package for your pocket, eh? It costs 45 Ghana cedis a month. Hey. Enjoy 40 plus channels, great local content on Akwaboah Magic Ebusia, Edge of Your Seat drama series, unmissable soaps, informative international news channels, and great football content. All this day inside the 45 Ghana cedis. So DSTV Paddy Camo. Get your decoder today for 269 Ghana cedis, or simply dial *759# to connect and join in the fun. DSTV. It's your moment.
Do you need money to start a business? Do you need money to expand your business? Are you a government or private sector worker in need of money to sort out emergencies? Do you need working capital loan or do you need an emergency loan? Quick Credit will loan you money so you can repay in flexible terms. It's collateral-free loan with no susu, savings, account opening or deposit wahala. You just need to be a Ghanaian with your Ghana card. Quick Credit covers all forms of loan, and so you have no excuse not to work this year and beyond. Call Quick Credit on 030-2200-390 or 059-6920-833. Take note, we do not give loans via the internet. Beware of scammers. We are regulated and licensed by Bank of Ghana. Terms and conditions applied.
Quick Credit. Lending made simple.
In life, choice is good, but choice plus safety is way better. Your safety and comfort is paramount. Under the cylinder recirculation model, you can buy LPG in a safe environment. All cylinders are inspected and maintained to the best safety standards, so your safety is assured. Just take your empty cylinder to the nearest exchange point and swap it for a filled cylinder. Different cylinder sizes will be available to meet your pocket size. Imagine cooking in a smoke-free environment. This will improve the health and well-being of you and your family. Choose LPG in a safer model of distribution. Cylinder recirculation model. Securing your safety. Creating more jobs. A message from the National Petroleum Authority under the patronage of the Ministry of Energy.
Just when you thought you've seen it all and done it all, guess what the next big one is? Adansi Travels, the 2022 GTA Best Tour Operator in Ghana, in partnership with your cruise people, brings you the most exciting cruise to happen in a lifetime to Greece, Turkey, Italy, and Spain. Dubbed the Special Euro Cruise and Land Tour. On this trip, you will have an unforgettable experience exploring Santorini, Mykonos, Kushadasi, and Patmos. Afterwards, you will also be on land touring Athens, Rome, and Barcelona to crown it all with a refreshing vibe of music and entertainment and the magnificent Camp Nou Stadium. Join this amazing cruise from 6th to 17th April 2023 for just $4,500, covering flight, visa, all-inclusive cruise, hotels, and meals. This is too good a trip to miss. Contact Adansi Travels on 0595 500 817 or 0556 310 404 to book your spot now. Adansi Travels, fuel life's beauty.
In celebration of International Women's Day, media personality Nana Banamwa presents the maiden edition of Women of Valor, a movement of courageous women sharing untold, uplifting stories. Representing Nigeria is award-winning actress Omotola Jalade Ekainde, award-winning Supersport presenter Julia Stewart from South Africa, women and children's rights activist Eugenia Balfour Banco from Ghana, as they share their untold stories of courage to inspire us to greatness. Date Tuesday, 7th March 2023. Time 9 a.m. Venue Labadi Beach Hotel. The 2023 Women of Valor is in partnership with ALX, Joy 99.7 FM, GH1 TV, Star 103.5 FM, UTV, Peace 104.3 FM, Ghana Web, Kobe Chain News, Afrimax Network, Premier 369 Limited, Colormax, Wella Dazzles, Office & Co, Oh My Hair, Care Beauty Salon and Spa, Aligina Beauty Parlor, and Stannis Luxury Beauty Studio.
It's the most action-packed breakfast show in town. The hottest music, the best giveaways, the great interviews, and all the laughter and fun you can imagine. Don't miss the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. It's the best breakfast show in town.
Back, it's the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM, 9:25. Gosh, time flies when you're having fun. And we certainly are, as we learn about Ghana's music and the role it can play in our illustrious future. As we try to develop faster as a nation, how can we use music to that effect? We've been hearing from Okraku-Mantey, Deputy Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Dr. Eyram Fiagbedzi, lecturer at the Department of Music, School of Performing Arts, University of Ghana. And guess who's just joined us on the phone? Akwaboah Jr., songwriter and high life musician. Akwaboah, what a pleasure. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Not bad at all. We're glad you could join us.
And we believe you are doing well too, Akwaboah.
Yes, by God's grace, I'm fine.
Great. So we've been talking about music in Ghana, and the consensus here is that a lot can be done, particularly by our musicians. We're told of how you have a major role to play in making sure that you put Ghana music there. The question is, why are you not doing it? What is the difficulty, Akwaboah?
So first of all, I'd like to say the difficulty some comes from, should I say, the gatekeepers, because as an artist or musician, for me, I would say we are doing all that we can. And then when we put out the songs out there, for it to be or to go international and stuff, I know you guys would also have or has a part to play. And these are some of the things that sometimes I talk about with my team. So some parts I would say you guys are also part. And then for us musicians, when you're also writing the songs, some would also want to write in P. Some would also want to use, for me, when I'm writing a song and it's in P, I know the instrumentations and everything has to be that strong so that if the person doesn't even understand what I'm singing, the instrumentations would have to sell the song out there. But then you cry, Charlie. That's where the problem for me, I think it is, honestly.
I mean, finally on this, I mean, I remember having an interview with you and your father together.
Yeah.
In that interview, your father said something. He said, "You're winning to last forever."
Yes.
In his words, he's had to ask you to, tweak your music to last forever. But the question is, lasting forever.
Forever.
Is it locally or globally?
Of course, it's globally. That's why I initially said, before you put a pen on the paper, you have to know what you're writing, where you want the song to go, and then how you want the song to be received. So let's say, okay, I remember when I was young, Daddy did a literature, and to date, anywhere that I stand to play a literature, whether locally or globally, people accept it. And sometimes you could tell that it's not even because of the lyrics or whether they understand the song or not, but it's because even the instrumentation is extremely good. And sometimes I say these things to other musicians that, you can write the song, you can go to the studio, and an engineer, just one person, can just produce a song for you. But sometimes it is better to hit the studios with a group of people like instrumentalists. You get it? Share the song with them. Let them also bring their ideas up. Do the song live. Inculcate this. Let's put in trumpets. Let's do some guitars. Let's do so many things. And for me, I feel doing that with a high life song or any kind of song that we do will take us there. You get it? Apart from the fact that, you say I go studio, engineer and then that's it. Sometimes those things are extremely limited. And the people that can actually do the songs are there. It's not like they're not there. They are available. But the question is, are some of us going to them to get the song done? And that's where sometimes the problem is too. Getting it done, like with people, for them to share their ideas to make the song a very strong one, whether it is hip-hop, whether it's reggae, whether it's high life. Especially when they're even talking about love, or they're talking about, excuse me to say, some believe what sex sells. So when you talk about sex, then that's it. But it doesn't work like that. If the message is not selling, if you want to do a tree song, if people won't understand, why wouldn't we use the instrumentation Till date, we don't get Angelique Kidjo's song. We don't understand them. We don't understand Mayway's song, but we love them because of how it is produced. It is so good you can't ignore it. What happens to ours? You could tell it's been like weaved. You get it? To be given to us the way it is or it sounds. The sound itself is very, very important. But when it comes to our side, studio, maybe he plays the keyboard, just one key on the keyboard. There are 12 of them, and you expect him to do a very strong high-life song for you. So globally or locally, we have to look for people that are very musically inclined people to get the good things out there. That way, Ronilo, so whoever who listens to the song might not understand what we're saying, but will still fall in love with the song. And for me, I guess it can take us far, honestly.
Akwaboah, you mentioned the role that the people you describe as gatekeepers also play in Ghanaian music going global. You talked about the fact that once the music is done by the artist or the musician, there is an expectation that then the stations and the outlets will also play the music so that it goes global. And I suppose you're saying that so far, Ghana music has not enjoyed as much play as other genres of music that are going global, like Nigerian music or Amapiano. Ghanaian DJs and presenters are playing Nigerian music. They are playing South African music. Why are they not playing Ghanaian music as much? What do you think accounts for that?
I think basically, I won't say that they're not playing Ghanaian music. I would say that we need to focus on, because we need to set like an agenda for that.
So who should set this agenda?
And that more, I think so. We the artists want, but most are like mobile, the gatekeepers, the DJs, whatever. That's not to say they are not doing the job or anything. I feel why I said Ghana, if it's coming from outside, it's good. But if it's moving from here, okay, we can do better.
So you're saying that the DJs prefer music from Nigeria and South Africa to Ghanaian music?
Well, sometimes I wouldn't blame anybody, honestly. I wouldn't blame them because what they are hearing is good to their ears.
So that means the Ghanaian music is not as good to their ear?
It is very, very good. But there's more that can be done. There is more that can be done when it comes to us doing the music itself, one, and then the DJs will have to do also their side of the story. Let me give you a typical example. Black Sheriff, right? Most of the songs he does, when you listen to the way he sings and everything, they may find all a highlight. But you're pushing up hip hop. That's what you're saying. So going global, imagine us calling what he's doing highlight. That would have been highlight on the map. But the fact that we're pushing up hip hop. So, and now it's Afrobeat. So now what's happening is he's out there, but they are calling it Afrobeat.
But who is pushing it? Is it not his own team that is marketing his product?
Some things that I've heard from him means he's doing highlight.
So
I've heard certain things about him.
So why is he saying it's Afrobeats or hip hop?
Sorry?
So why is his team calling it Afrobeats or hip hop?
I don't know if it's his team. I think it's Ghana for now. What he's doing, we are coming. I sent a bit to differ though, but pushy call him say be a hip hop and let's hand him on. But if imagine what he's doing, we are taking it as high life, and we are pushing the agenda of high life to the world. Imagine where we would be with it. But if you're wanting about easily, but when it's coming from Ghana and we're trying to take it out there, there's a lot that we can be done.
Okay.
That can be done, yes.
But Akwaboah, finally, talking about the songs, yes, they're good songs, but they're not being played. Yes, the reality also is that if I want to play good songs, and everybody would tell you that I always would want to play Ghanaian songs over any other country's music. If I want to play good songs, I want a lot of good songs from Ghana to play. The truth is, I don't hear the new songs as I hear from other countries. I cannot play the same songs that I know. So if you don't produce in this country, we cannot recycle the old ones that we know. We expect
so let me ask
quality
you, how do you get the new songs from the other countries apart
because
from
they
Ghana?
have produced them. And I'm saying, let's come to Ghana right now and have that conversation and ask ourselves, how often do our artists even produce new songs?
Okay.
Let's have that conversation. Look, we can go round, but the reality is that sometimes also, as artists, you talk to your colleagues, you need to produce. Yes, you do very good songs, but you need to help one another to also come out with equally better songs. Like you say, one person cannot do it alone. I mean, the much trumpeted, the much talked about Buga. It's a combination of Kiss Daniel and techno.
Yes.
That's it. Okay, these are
and
two
I
jacks.
think sorry to cut you. I think that's one of our problems here in Ghana. You guys could come together and work on a good song. The other part is thinking, so no, and I say, yo, or cry, we are from just to build yourself up.
You see?
You get it? So, if I be so every year, which I'll totally accept, because if I would want to do a song with someone, I would also want to put the person in a space where we can do a very good musical, some quality one that would also stand the test of time and stuff. But maybe I know against it. Also challenging. So yeah, I might only want to do the studio and do stuff myself. But if you watch, for me personally, I'd love to do songs 2 years after every album comes. 2 years. My Matters of the Heart is 2 years. I'm now working on the Lighthouse album. I released the Lighthouse EP, which was last year. And my name is Waboni in the area, and I was too early. What do you say?
Okay. Akwaboah,
So
thank you very much.
problem.
We'll continue with this conversation subsequently. Thank you very much for joining us. That's Akwaboah Jr. Yes, Akwaboah Jr. Joining us here on the Super Morning Show. I think we need to be wrapping up in studio. And Akwaboah ends on their attitude. Mark, I think that's where you should also end on.
Yeah.
The attitude of even the artist and how they take the promotion of the work they do seriously.
I think that coming into the industry, most people do not have role models who give them some orientation before they start. Most of them do not appreciate that it's an ecosystem and everybody must matter in that ecosystem to be able to succeed. Today, they say your network is your net worth. I think what some of the competitors in the other part of Africa have is that they have strong networks. They don't joke with standards. As for the standards, you cannot compromise. You can choose to say that's where I want to spend less. But the moment your music plays as against somebody who has gone to a proper studio and gone through all the right stages and getting the right sound, it will give you away. And so they should get close to some of these things, standards. They should understand that it's an ecosystem. Presenters, DJs, marketers, the right agents who get you the gigs. Real's strength is the agents she has. Yeah, he will connect you to the right places you must perform. Again, are people taking their performances seriously? Not doing the same thing over and over. Oh, I know what to predict when I go for this particular person's event. Over time, law of diminishing return, you will notice that people are getting tired of, because we've seen over and over doing almost the same song, just like you said, that we are not getting the new song. So what do we do? So I think that the collaborations must be more, must work together, and then people must acquire knowledge for the kind of trade they practice, because it's not just about talent. Talent is not enough. There's a business side to this. And when you go to a corporate house to look for business or sponsorship, whatever, there's a way you must communicate. There is a way you must put your document together. There's a way you must present yourself. They give you time for meetings, appointments. All these things come at play. And those ones, I will speak for my brothers in Nigeria. How they even talk to you when they come to your office, how they carry themselves. They don't see themselves as stars to the industry. You can never be a star in your industry. You are a star outside your industry. Internally, you must play ball. you must work together. You must collaborate. When you get out there of your internal industry people, that's why you go and do your startup. But when you see Winston, you see Kojo. Oh, I see Mr. Ansa. You see Kojo. That is not the place to come and show yourself that you're a star. You know, the Nigerians will do, Oga, your boy they here. And then Kojo and Winston will be motivated to want to also push you. Unfortunately, I see that my comrades here, sometimes their stardom gets overboard and they think that the people in the industry too must bow to them. When you do that, you are not going to get what you need. And then you are getting the network that you need, the chain that you need to operate within to make to get your results. You will not get it.
That's food for thought right there. I think we'll wrap in the last 2 minutes with Dr. Eyram Fiagbedzi. Doc, I suppose the final question is simple. What role do you see Ghanaian music playing in our future development?
Thanks, but I would rather want to really look at the question this way, that how can we promote and develop Ghanaian music? Rather. So then I have three layers of prescription, for example. So, for example, the issue about the reason why Ghanaian music is not enjoying airplay, we need a conversation on that, where people in the media and the musicians can have that conversation. But first of all, musicians, individual musicians level, they need to draw on traditional resources. Learn from people like him, Ayisoba, Wiyala, Edem, for example, Nyejilo. These are Bobobo drum tech that he appropriated and brought into the popular music scene. The Global Revival Choir, for example, have this song. This is a song that was composed by a musical group from Anyapo, I think somewhere in the 1980s. Okay, but they have revamped it. They have revitalized it, giving it a contemporary feel. And when you look at the instrumentation and everything, the pentatonic is strong and it tells you where it is coming from. So at the individual musicians level, I think we need to pay attention to these things. Go down to our cultural resources and use them in addition to what Honorable has prescribed. The second thing has to do with how our music is recorded. I mean, usually, I think we employ low-budget recording, or what they call demo in the past. But we need to start looking at things holistically, to where record labels can be employed, I mean, to do the work, because they have the machinery and the people with required expertise to help produce music that would be good for everyone. The third thing is that, Honorable Minister, this one falls in your quarters. We need a policy to have a certain percentage of Ghanaian music played on air by radio and TV stations. They have this in Nigeria. I don't quite remember the percentage, but we need to have a policy that would suggest that maybe 50 to 60% of Ghanaian music should be played on the airwaves by all the radio and TV stations. And I think these things would help improve and promote Ghanaian music. Thank you.
Thank you too. Dr. Eyram Fiagbedzi is the lecturer at the Department of Music at the School of Performing Arts, University of Ghana, Legon. You've also been hearing from the Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. Deputy Minister, forgive me. Deputy Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Mr. Mark Okraku-Mantey.
And then your producers, I don't know how they got our ministry wrong. I see they misled you throughout the whole program. Tourism, arts and culture.
We've remixed it a little bit. Yes. Tourism, arts and culture. Thank you.
Are you a tourism person?
Yeah, I trust my producer. Yeah. Anyway, we also heard from Akwaboah Jr. He's a songwriter, high life musician. He joined us on the phone as well. I want to say a big thank you to all of our guests. We appreciate your time with us this morning. We're going to take some messages and continue the show after these.
My guy,